In this video, we're going to be talking about the Fiverr Success Score, the rating system, and how you are going to level up or level down on Fiverr. Hey, I'm Marbelle, I'm your Fiverr Big Sis, and I help you monetize your skills. So let's get right into it. So there are a couple of metrics of the Fiverr Success Score, and that includes client satisfaction, value for money, effective communication, delivery time, order cancellations, conflict-free orders, and something that they don't show you is competition in the marketplace, your competition to your specific gig. How do I know that? I attended the webinar a couple of days after it was launched. So here's everything that I have learned from the webinar, as well as my personal experience and the experience of my students who are inside of the Fiverr Profit System. I have a course that teaches you the 7 steps in order to really scale Fiverr to make thousands of dollars per month. It's called the Fiverr Profit System. If you want to check it out, I've linked it below. And it also comes with my private community. We have over 200 Fiverr sellers in this private community where we help each other grow, we help each other thrive. And in my community was a huge uproar when the Success Score was released. So here's how I'm navigating them as well as you. So the webinar was actually supposed to be a Q&A where you could ask questions live to Fiverr's team. But as they started the webinar, they immediately shut off the Q&A because there were like 1,500 sellers in the webinar. It was crazy. It was mayhem. People were very, very upset, very, very confused as to why they were demoted. A lot of people got demoted to level 1 or new seller when the new Success Score came out. So they turned off the Q&A and basically said that they were going to use tickets that were submitted to support, as well as emails that were submitted to success managers, if you're a Fiverr Seller Plus member, and the forum, the community forum on Fiverr. So they were using all of that information, gathering up the most commonly asked questions, and then they answered them during the webinar. And I feel like they did a okay job answering our main questions. Your success score is based very heavily on your customers' satisfaction. So what does that mean? Are you communicating with buyers? Are you being open and transparent about what you're going to charge? Are you requesting a lot of extensions that may not be the buyer's fault, or maybe just because you need more time to deliver the order? Are you canceling orders? We already know that late deliveries and cancellations affect our score anyway and our ranking, but it applies even more now. But now requesting extensions can also be held against you. But the main thing that the Fiverr Success Score is based off of is private feedback. If you are unfamiliar with the buying process on Fiverr, which I highly suggest you become a buyer as well so you become familiar with this process. When you place an order with a seller as a buyer, the seller delivers that piece of work, you go to review it, right? Your normal public review. After you leave your public review, Fiverr prompts you 1.5 million times to leave private feedback for the seller. And buyers have a chance to leave their actual review without affecting your public review. Now, hey, you know what? They delivered the order late. They requested so many extensions because they had personal issues going on, or they delivered the work and it was nothing like what I had asked, or they took so many days and they didn't even communicate with me throughout the process, things like that. Buyers have the opportunity to leave that kind of review. Now we are seeing the private feedback. In the past, before the Success Score, we never knew how buyers truly felt and we never saw the private feedback. It just kind of always was like, maybe it's affecting my gigs, but now it clearly is, and we can clearly see what they are saying in the private feedback based on these metrics that are in our Success Score now. Which also leads me to the public rating. The rating system has completely changed for now. They are still testing this rating system, but for now, what they have changed it to, instead of just 5 stars, like a traditional rating system, they now have a panel of emojis, which I'll show you right here on the screen. And they're gonna give this a couple times for different parts of the order. They're gonna ask this panel of emojis and exceptional with the stars in the eyes is the 5-star. And then they want the buyer to endorse the skills that you have provided, kind of like LinkedIn, where they have a panel of options down below the emoji panel where they're going to say, hey, did they provide all of these things for you? If not, the buyer is not going to check that off. That is now part of your private as well as your public feedback. So there's mixed feelings with this, but if you are serious about growing on Fiverr, this is actually really, really good intel, and it's only to help you be better as a seller and improve your service and customer service as a Fiverr seller. So the new panel is also going to explain why you're probably seeing a lot of like 4 stars, 3 stars because of that emoji panel. So we're going to talk about at the end of the video how we can increase that score. So during the webinar, they did confirm that cancellations that were removed from customer support were not supposed to be included in this success score metric. And so they're working on getting rid of those cancellations that were already removed by customer support. So if you experience that, if you felt like you had way more cancellations than you were supposed to, then most likely those are going to get removed from the success score and you may see an increase. As far as extension requests go, this is a really common practice, right? Like if you are a UGC creator like myself, where I need to wait for the product to come in, it's really common that I would request an extension if I didn't receive the product yet. Like, how could I work on the order if I don't have the product yet? And so what they are saying is, if you request an extension that is for your benefit as the seller, that will count against you. If you are requesting an extension because you simply cannot complete the order without certain materials, that's not going to be counted against you. How do they know this? They said that they have AI and machine learning that is going through everything and analyzing all of this data. And I'm sure in the chat, when you describe your extension, then they're going to know who is the benefit for. So when you are requesting an extension, it's really important that you clarify that this is not your fault. You are not asking for an extension because of personal reasons or because you just, it was a weekend and you were partying too hard and you can't deliver the work on time. As long as it's a legitimate extension request, you should be fine. However, I am suggesting that you put a longer delivery date for your custom offers. If you work in a space like I do with UGC, where I send out a custom offer for every single order I work on, they don't place the order on my gig, I just automatically put 20 days for my custom offer. Like, that's plenty of time for me to receive the product, work on the video, and deliver it back to the brand without having to request that extension. If you have the opportunity where you can communicate with the buyer before they place the order, just add a longer delivery window in the custom offer and explain to the buyer why you did that. So I had to do that because I need time to receive the product, or whatever the case is for your particular niche. If you have multiple gigs on your account like I do, I think I have 10 or 11 now, the gigs that are weighted more heavily for your overall success score are going to be the gigs that have the most amount of orders and have a lot of recent orders. If you have some gigs that are ranking at like a 4 or 3 or whatever, and they're just not active gigs, like they're just sitting there, you had an order a couple of months ago, go ahead and pause those gigs. They did say that if you pause or delete low performing gigs, it may not impact your overall score because, again, they're using gigs with a lot of orders and recent orders. And if you can clear up some space of those low performing gigs, just go ahead and pause or delete them if you really don't want to reactivate them and revive them. Now, how are they determining your level based on this success score? So we know that if you stay above a 7, you're going to stay within that level that you currently are at. But if you fall below that, you can get demoted. But from what I understand and what they talked about in the webinar, in the past, before the success score, levels were determined on a 60-day rolling basis. So in the last 60 days, if you met these metrics, you went on to the next level, blah, 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 blah. Now, it seems to be a little bit more in real time. So if you start working with, let's say, 5 buyers, and with those 5 buyers, you get exceptional across the board, you could actually see an increase in your rating tomorrow. So from what I understand, as of right now, you do have a chance to increase your level if you just deliver really exceptional work for your last 5, 6 orders, your most recent orders will affect your success score. So that's kind of exciting, right? Like we now have the chance to control our level in a sense, because within just a couple of orders, we could really increase our score and get to the next level. If you were demoted, this is the best time right now to really hone in on those orders that you currently have and make sure you are making the buyer super happy. Now we're going to talk about what you can do to make sure your buyers are really happy. Okay, so here are the things that you need to do in order to start improving your success score or making sure you stay at that high number that you may be already at. 1, go with your gut instinct. What do I mean by this? When you get a buyer that messages you, and you have like a little bit of an off-putting feeling. You're like, I don't know if this is going to really work out. Like, I don't know if this buyer is really like vibing with me. Don't work with them. That is the very first thing you're going to do, is literally start vetting the buyers that you work with. If you already have a bad feeling in the chat, you already have a couple of red flags that you're just not feeling, most likely you're not going to get that exceptional review. This is your business. Yes, we all want the money. I completely understand. We all need the money. I get it. But now if you want to make even more money, you want to start charging more for your services, you have to have a high success score and you have to have a good rating. And if you're going to work with a buyer who, yeah, will give you the money, but they're going to give you probably a poor rating, it's just not worth it. The next thing you're going to do is, like I said at the very middle of this video, is put a longer delivery window for your custom offers. That's going to be really important so that you're avoiding those extension requests. The next thing you're going to do is set up a bunch of quick responses that are going to tell the buyer what you are doing at every stage of the process. One of the factors they look at is effective communication. And what that means is letting buyers know what's going on when they place an order with you. That's what I've been doing this whole time. And it's actually what I teach all of my students inside of the Fiverr Profit System. You are building a business. You are building relationships with your buyers. If you build great relationships with your buyers, guess what? Not only are you going to get a great score, a great rating, but you're also going to gain, hopefully, a repeat buyer that's going to come back for more work. And repeat buyers are the best because they're going to boost up your rating. If they love you, they're going to give you 5 stars every single time they place an order with you. And that's consistent, stable income. So the goal of this is to build relationships. And how do you build relationships? Is effective communication. Letting them know, hey, I just got the product. I will be working on this in the next 2 days. I'll let you know if I have any questions. The next day, hey, I'm recording the video. I believe everything's running really smoothly. I'll be able to deliver the files by end of day tomorrow. Once they deliver the files, hey, I just delivered the files. Please take a look at them. Take your time. Let me know if you have any questions or revisions, and I'd be happy to solve them for you. Like, talk with the buyer throughout the process. Think about it from their perspective, okay? Again, I'm hitting on this point that it's really important for you to also be a buyer so that you can understand what the buyers are going through. So put yourself in the buyer's shoes. If you go to hire a freelancer for a job that you're really excited to outsource, right? Because that's why they're on Fiverr. They want to outsource this job. And they feel like they are giving that work to somebody that's going to deliver high quality work that they don't have to do. They are now saving themselves time because they're outsourcing it to us. Wouldn't you want to know what's going on through the order process? Or do you want to just place the order and then 3 days later get the delivery? No, right? We want to have a relationship. So communication is key, and you can just easily set up quick responses so that you're not typing them out manually. Set up like a series of 5 or 10 quick responses that talk about different stages of the order. You don't need to be formal. It doesn't need to like it literally could just be a quick update. And I actually have in my Fiverr Profit System, I give you 50 quick response prompts because I know quick responses can be a real struggle to come up with. Like, what do I tell the buyer? So that is all in my Fiverr Profit System as a bonus. So definitely check that out. It's linked below. Along with the quick response prompts for updating the customer, I also want you to create a quick response that kind of subliminally tells the buyer that the exceptional emoji is the equivalent to 5 stars. Now, we are not allowed per Fiverr TOS to ask the buyer to leave any particular review for us. Don't even put the word review, don't put rating, don't put any of that, right? But we could say, I'm looking forward to your positive, boom, 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 with the exceptional emoji feedback. I'm looking forward to your positive feedback. This is actually a tip from one of my students inside of the Fiverr Profit System, to put those emojis that kind of let the buyers know, hey, this is the one you're supposed to choose. Obviously, we don't want to directly ask them to, that's not allowed, but subliminally we can kind of say like, hey, we delivered exceptional work, right? Like, we're good on that, right? So just kind of giving them that little nudge will hopefully start increasing your 5-star reviews again. And it has for a couple of my students who have implemented this style of quick response when you're delivering the order. At the end of the day, you guys, I know that change is always really scary. Like I said, I've been a Fiverr seller for almost a decade now, and they have launched so many different changes, a lot in the last 2 years, like a lot. And with every change, it's really scary. Things kind of dip, impressions kind of go down, messages kind of go down because now buyers have to navigate all these changes. So just be patient with the platform. You know, take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. Everything will kind of work out. Once the dust settles, we'll be able to use this information and really leverage it to charge even more. If you have a high score like I do, I think I'm at a 9 right now, I'm going to be able to leverage that in my gig description that, hey, Fiverr thinks that my customer service is amazing and I have a high success score. So now I can charge a little bit more on my gigs because I am vetted by Fiverr as well as my existing buyers that I really do give good customer service. So I think we're going to be able to leverage this information to just not only increase our rating, but charge more and work less. That is my goal. That is the point of my Fiverr Profit System. It is the end goal for all of this, is to be able to charge more and work less. When I first started, I was charging $5 a gig for my voiceover gig. And I'm now charging $25 and up, depending if they want commercial rights or not. My UGC gig, I started at $35 a video and I just completed a $600 video. It's all about charging more over time, growing on Fiverr, scaling Fiverr, and working less. I am working far less than I ever have in my Fiverr career, but I am making more than I ever have. And that is the point, and that is what I teach in my Fiverr Profit System. So if you're interested in getting that knowledge to charge more and work less, check out the Fiverr Profit System linked below. And of course, hit that subscribe button, like, and comment any questions you have. I plan on creating more videos about the success score and how we can really use it to our advantage. So comment any questions you have below, and I would love to make additional videos for you. Talk to you later.